Restaurant owners are going to hate me for saying this, but dining out is dead in 2026 going forward. And the reason that is because people simply cannot afford the cost of living. The cost of living is way too expensive. People are tired of keeping up with the Jones. And not only that, but we also have to realize that yes, while we can technically afford going out, if we either increase our income or reduce our cost of living in other areas, people just are not willing to, with the increased prices of groceries, to spend money on going out like they used to. And that's what you guys notice if you guys go out to eat and you guys go to different restaurants at different time periods, you guys might notice like, oh, wait a minute. There's not too many people at these restaurants. Like I remember just a few months ago, and yes, a few months ago, not a few weeks ago, I was at Olive Garden. And when I was there, I can tell you guys the amount of people that were there were zero. And it was just me and my wife. And to be fair, we did go in the random afternoon, like on a random weekday. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. But to be honest with you guys, just 10, 20 years ago, that Olive Garden would have been packed. Now, it may have not been as packed as it would have been on a Friday or Saturday night, but it would have had at least like, I don't know, two, three, four, five different families. It wouldn't have zero people. It almost made us feel like uncomfortable that there was nobody else there. But I say that from experience. Whenever we've gone to different restaurants, we've noticed over the past few months, there's just less and less people there. Whether on the weekdays or the weekends, people just don't have as much money as they used to. And I think that's what's happening. We do see some people going to restaurants like ourselves, and that's either because they're choosing to allocate their income there or people are getting into credit card debt. And I won't lie, I have been a victim to this before in the past. I no longer do that. I make more, obviously financially responsible choices, but I have seen a lot of people get into credit card debt, especially where I'm here in Orlando, Florida. I know a lot of people, a ton of people are getting into credit card debt just to keep up with the Jones because over here you have all sorts of really cool restaurants, hotels, tourist attractions. And so a lot of people get into debt over here in Orlando, Florida so that they can keep up this image that everything's all fine or that they themselves are so used to the standard of living that they had 5, 10 years ago. They don't want to let it go. And I completely get it. We shouldn't have to lower our cost of living or our standard of living with the times. But unfortunately, that's part of being a responsible adult. If you know your money doesn't go as far today as it did 5 years ago, well, you're going to have to reduce your cost of living and you're going to have to reduce your standard of living. That's just reality. That's called being an adult. And whenever we have these economic pressures that I'm seeing with grocery prices increasing, I've noticed that more people are getting like fast food, believe it or not, because fast food, although their prices have increased, and I don't know who McDonald's thinks there is, by removing their Dollar Tree menu and adding these $10 burgers that no one cares about. Like, just keep in mind McDonald's, aka this video isn't about you, but don't charge $10 a burger because nobody's there because your burgers are delicious. People have been there because you're cheap. But I get what you guys are doing with the marketing and the PR. But anyways, my point still stands, guys. People do not want to reduce their cost of living, their standard of living, but that's what we're going to have to do anyway. And that's the reason why you're noticing a lot of restaurants are more empty than usual because people simply cannot afford it. And this is why I think it's very important for us to be realistic with ourselves, to budget ourselves, to have an investment, to have a savings account. Because what's going to happen is the economy is going to get worse. It's not going to get any cheaper. Right now, where you guys see where it's at right now, it's going to continuously get worse because the economic pressures are going to continue building up. So when you guys look at all these different restaurants that are empty, that's a result of the increased prices, less quantity, and the economic pressures. So again, the restaurants that we're seeing right now, they do have a low profit margin. They're not like, it's not like they have 50%, 100% profit margin like certain businesses. Like if you guys look at the tech field, they're thriving right now because the tech field, they have very high profit margins. Like I'm talking about 50% or higher, right? Meaning that if I make $100, I actually keep most of the money of that $100. Whereas whenever you look at restaurants, this is why they have this concept often called servers, waiters, waitresses, bussers, right? People who get tips. There's a lot of incentive for, the customers to give tips to the employees because the employees just simply don't get paid enough, right? And that's the whole point because the profit margins aren't that high. And so they have to incentivize them with tips. And this is why whenever you look at restaurants today, a lot of them aren't doing so well, especially with the high increase menu prices, the restaurants, the cost for their land and their buildings. It's getting more expensive as time goes by. And people just aren't willing to eat up those prices. And so whenever we look at, grocery prices, we look at fast food, we look at fine dining restaurants, it just has not kept up with the cost of living. And so I think this is where people are going to cut their budgets first, because as much as we love food, as much as we love entertainment, as much as we love pleasure in our society, I don't think that people are willing to go into debt for going out to eat every Sunday. I think people are going to cut there first, and then they're going to cut in other areas of their budget. This is why whenever you see out of touch CEOs and C-suite members of large companies like McDonald's saying things like, oh, well, we're only going to decrease our prices because we realize we can't charge as much as we did before because people literally can't afford it. Like, guys, anytime I go out with my wife and we go out to eat, like, no exaggeration, we'll go to, like, let's say, Waffle House, or let's say we go to, IHOP or Crackle Barrel for breakfast. We go to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. No cap, guys. All the restaurants are the same prices. We're always going to spend around a good $30. It doesn't matter if it's fast food or not. Anytime you go out restaurant spending money, you're going to spend a good solid $30. Even whenever you go somewhere to get like pizza, Chinese food, $30. $30 has become like the new standard. $30 is like the new $10, $15, guys. Like, it's actually insane. Cause I remember when we used to eat back in the day, $10 was pretty typical. Like, we can get some sandwiches or, we can get some snacks alongside that. $10. Now it's like $30 every single time. Like, even McDonald's, and McDonald's, they really think they're all that in a bag of chips. Kind of crazy because they'll charge you $30 for a meal of two. $30. It's like, for that, I might as well go to Chick-fil-A, might as well go out to Crackle Barrel, might as well go out to other restaurants besides McDonald's. But they're not going to reduce their cost because people are so accustomed to eating it. And that's the issue with the restaurants nowadays, is people are really addicted to the fast food restaurants. And I think that's what's really happening. Honestly, guys, I think a lot of people are just spending their money elsewhere. Instead of people going out to eat at regular restaurants, they're going out to fast food restaurants. And to be honest with you guys, I don't see the point of that because I think it's going to cost the same regardless if you're eating at fast food or regular restaurants. Because when I go to Crackle Barrel, I spend around $28, $32, and that's including the tip. McDonald's, I'm going to spend around $28. So for maybe $4 more, I get to eat out at a restaurant and the food tastes better. And there's probably a chance that it's real or that it's just better or healthier for me. So I'd much rather go out to eat, guys. But to be honest with you guys, that's why restaurants are empty, because people just can't afford it anymore. But I'd love to hear your opinions below. Have you guys cut back spending on going out? Because I know my household and me, we have. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, like, comment, and share. I hope you guys have a great day.